Hello to all. Welcome to our webinar session. My name is Yana Orfanidou from the Department of Hospitality, Tourism and Sports Management of the University of Nicosia.
Very warm welcome from me as well. I am George Panayiotou. I am also faculty of the Department of Hospitality, Tourism and Sports Management at the University of Nicosia. And welcome to today's webinar, Resilience of Hospitality and Tourism Industry. So without any further ado, Yana, shall we begin?
For sure. We are ready for the discussion, and we hope that during the next hour, we will give you our perspective and our information and how we perceive this resilience of hospitality and tourism industry.
Yes, that is correct, Yana. We will also allocate a few minutes towards the end. If there are any questions from the audience, we will gladly accept those questions or comments. So the topic once again today is resilience of hospitality and tourism industry. Ladies and gentlemen, hospitality is the most resilient industry and has already demonstrated time and time again its ability to recover quickly as it did in the past. But quickly, let's just define this term resilience. Resilience is defined as the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Currently, we are going through a difficulty. Now, in the past, as mentioned earlier, we have had difficulties such as the 2003 SARS epidemic, the 2008 world economic crisis, the 2009 H1N1 epidemic. Of course, we cannot forget locally here in Cyprus, the 2013 economic crisis. Of course, we also have the ongoing 2015 African Ebola epidemic, and of course, still the ongoing since 2015 Zika virus. Added to that, we also have the ongoing terror attacks in the various destinations around the world. As such, irregardless of all of these difficulties, we have seen that the industry has come back, has bounced back. In other words, it has recovered, all right? Sometimes quicker than other times, but nevertheless, it has recovered. So let's continue by looking at some further data to substantiate this.
George, let me add here that definitely discussing about resilience, which is a term that has been used quite often the last 2 months, facing the new challenge that we're facing now with the COVID-19.
Correct.
Amazing. I mean, that the last 20 years, if someone can observe, there are so many challenges and so many unpredictable situations that our industry, the hospitality and tourism sector, managed to recover and recover successfully. And we came up by discussing about resilience and having this conversation a lot of times during the last couple of months with the colleagues of the department and the discussions that we have as academicians. I mean, that there is actually an equation that we can support people, yes? The core of our industry, the attitude needed, plus the adaptation, something that we teach our students, and they have to face a lot of different scenarios and to provide solutions to those scenarios. Definitely the core concept, philoxenia, something that we'll discuss further later, and the essence of our industry. Come up with the lovely equation here that results to resilience, the ability to recover after an uncontrolled situation.
That is correct, Janna, and we will see each of these points in more detail as we continue this presentation. Let me remind our audience, of course, this has come about from questions, comments that we have had with industry professionals, with other academics, students in the past. And this is also based on our experience and on those factors and those elements that have driven this change, that have driven this recovery, and hence our resilience. Janna.
Just to add here that we're young enough to have a lot of experience.
Oh, yes, definitely. You are correct.
All right. So in order to support, the resilience of the industry, we search into the data supported by UNWTO and IMF to see what is happening into our industry the last decade and even the last 2 decades. So here we see a graph shows the growth in international terms and the world gross domestic product percentage, and we observe the decline during the big economic crisis in 2009. But what we observe here is the fast recovery in our sector, George, which is very important to discuss this area here, that we had up to -5 of growth of continuous years. What is very, very interesting with the statistics that we're having from the UNWTO is that since the beginnings of the 90s, we have as close as accuracy data, which is an amazing tool for discussion and our studies and our feasibility studies. In order to follow a strategy and all the destinations to know where they are positioned themselves. But this shows exactly, the recovery, especially during the economic crisis, which it was one important milestone for our industry to realize, that we need to have a backup plans and we have to be ready to adaptation. And since the 2009, we have observed a lot of new changes and new products and a lot of challenges that we had to face in order to understand the new consumer behavior after a big economic crisis.
That is correct, Janna, and we will see in more detail as we go along. For example, let's look at the next slide here. And what we can see is some facts and figures, again, from the World Tourism Organization. And this will show that we have, and of course, this is the 10-year sector here of continuous growth since 2010 and 2019. But it also shows in the graph the different, let's say, epidemics or situations that would otherwise impact the industry negatively, such as the 2001 September 11th, 2003 the SARS, and the global economic crisis. And as you can see, that there has been a steady growth pattern of 4% up to 2019. With 1.5 billion arrivals reached in 2019, with talking about the job market, 1 in 10, in other countries it's 1 in 9 jobs worldwide or part of the tourism sector and hospitality sector, with a total of 7% of global exports worldwide. So yes, Janna.
Just I wanted to add here that what is very important is how the hospitality and tourism industry actually supported in recovery in every situation that we had as a crisis, and when we needed, a boost, yes, in the economy, which is very important to see here. That tourism is a part of everything. Yes, it's not something that is isolated when we're discussing about a resilient economic sector. And as George mentioned before, by just seeing the figures, 1 in 10 jobs worldwide directly and indirectly. Yes, because we have the direct jobs and the indirect jobs associated with our industry. So we're discussing about the most, yes, one of the biggest industries worldwide.
Yes, Janna. To be clear, however, we do anticipate that the jobs, the market in whole, will be impacted by this this pandemic. So we are going to see first a downturn, which means a loss in jobs. We're going to see tourism arrivals drop. We're going to see broader impacts on the economy. This is a given. However, it doesn't mean because this is going to happen now that we will not have a recovery along the line. So let's discuss and let's focus on those key factors we discussed earlier and the formula for resilience in order to demonstrate what are those factors, what are those strengths that the industry, the hospitality and tourism industry relies on in order to have these relatively quick recoveries.
Definitely, having this conversation today, it's all about discussing resilience, and it's very important to focus on those elements to share, yes, with you the importance as far as the key elements in our industry, especially our people. And people make the industry. This is something that escorts our values, yes, in the industry as well, in our teaching, George. Focusing on the people, focus on people needs and wants as well, focus on the training of our people. And we're discussing here about providing the skill set, the competence, the knowledge, yes, the depth of knowledge. And definitely we're discussing here about capability, something that is not so common use. But in our industry, it's important that we understand the level of the ability of people to provide solutions in problems, to be adaptable, yes, and capability combines all these elements that you reach a level, I mean, after you have this skill set and competence and knowledge.
That is correct, Anna, that is correct.
George, you want to add something here as well?
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, people make the difference. This is a service industry. It is reliant on the people. So people that have the specific skill sets, the competencies, the knowledge, and the capability to work within this very diverse, ever-changing environment. And it is the cornerstone of our industry, the people, its people, the professionals, whether we're talking about entry level, whether we're talking about the middle or the managerial. So all people at all levels are an integral part of this recovery, of this quick recovery, and part of the overall resilience. Now, how do you learn these skills, these competencies, these knowledge, these capabilities? For some, it will be through experiential learning or on-the-job learning. In other words, you will be placed as at entry-level positions such as food runners, food service in restaurants, bell persons, front desk officers, etc. So there you will be able to attain or start learning, and you will be developing your knowledge of the industry. But at the same time, what are you developing? What are you learning here? You're learning how to operate in a diverse environment. You will be dealing with people of different ages, different nationalities, different levels. And this imparts upon the learner certain skills and competencies that they will that will serve them well throughout their professional career. And of course, the other method is through hospitality programs such as ours. Fantastic opportunity to learn skills, competences, knowledge specific to the industry, whether we call it hospitality, whether we call it tourism and events, whether we call it sports management. All of these SCKCs will be taught and can be taught, and you can learn these quite effectively.
All right, let me add here. Yes, let me add here, George, especially for our programs, yes, that they are designed in order to follow this skill set and competencies and knowledge, and we reach to capability with a lot of scenario based, a lot of simulation. I mean, that we apply a lot of group activities and field studies, and which everything, I mean, it's in order to equip our students actually with the resilience needed, because we have to explain here, I mean, and share that working in the hospitality and industry, it's a challenge, as you mentioned. It's a very challenge, but as well worth I mean, and the time that you invest, and and the knowledge that you need to gain, that is a lifelong learning process. Nothing is stable. You have to develop yourself to meet the new needs, the new products, to understand how the customers, yes, your guests are reacting to all these changes. So joining our industry, I mean, it's a very, very
it's a fantastic industry, Anna. It's a fantastic profession.
I mean, this is an important part, I mean, to focus on the potentials, yes, for the future
correct.
For the future employees, professionals, anyone that is thinking about joining this industry, definitely do not hesitate. I mean, we are enthusiastic about it, with a lot of years of experience, I mean, in this field. All the time, I mean, we're facing new data, new knowledge set up, new product. And this is quite challenging. Yes, George?
Of course, yes. But simply stated, again, people, the skills that they can learn, either in an academic setting, either through their internships, which can be part of their academic curriculum, or by themselves entering the industry. People learn, they're exposed to this very broad industry, and they learn, and it's the people that make the difference. It's the people, it's all of these skills, competencies, knowledge, and their overall capability that drive the whole industry forward, that keep it moving, because they know that it needs to keep moving. And our role, our job is here to serve, it's to provide, and there's a reward for service at the end of the day for the business in terms of profitability, and that self satisfaction from doing your job correctly. That smile that you will get from the client, the customer, that thank you, all right, but also the challenges, you know, that you will face and that you can overcome because you have this skill set. Janna.
Exactly. You gain this confidence, yes, that you can manage in a very challenging and sometimes very difficult situation. To move on with another important part of our equation, the attitude of the professional. Very important to focus on the things that we can do instead of focusing on the things that we can do. This is one of our models as well, and there are a lot of things that is not under our control, but definitely our attitude towards situation is something that we have total control what are going to be our choices and how we're going to react to different situations. George, you want to add here, especially because I
Yes,
know that you're
definitely.
very passionate as far as the attitude.
Oh, yes, it's attitude. It's that mindset. It's the we can do it philosophy. Okay, anything is possible, and this is something that that is very. And now I'm being very passionate here, and I'm tending to lose my words. But the
Definitely.
attitude is something is a skill. It's a factor that drives things forward, because it's all about having a positive outlook. Okay, it's keeping a positive mindset, always working towards that goal. We are here to serve. We are here to provide the hospitality, the philoxenia that our guests expect from us. We're here to create new products, new services, work over the difficulties, and keep a positive mindset, not just us, but within the group setting, because this is all about teamwork as well. We had mentioned people earlier, but it's these attitudes of all the people, all of these individuals. And when you have a group of individuals that have a positive outlook, a constant positive outlook, because they are aware, they realize that we have ups, we have downs, but we keep moving forward because we're passionate about this profession, we're passionate about this industry, which allows us to adapt to changing circumstances. This particular situation at present is going to bring on a lot of change in the industry, how we work, the hours we work, the new rules and regulations in operation. So we are going to have to adapt to that, but it's okay, because we are
Resilient.
trained to accept change, right?
Yes.
Because this is part of the attitude.
And I just wanted to add here that this
Yes.
is all about resilience. I mean, and this is what we emphasize with the hospitality personality. Yes, it covers
That
it,
is very true.
hospitality personality. So you'll gain this positive attitude. I mean, either you are already in this industry or you are planning to enter in this industry. You'll you have to have a positive mindset, and you learn, I mean, and you are taught to possess this positive, yes, approach.
Correct, correct. And because we want the change and we accept the change, we strive for continuous improvement through lifelong learning. The industry is fortunate enough, and many businesses that both you and me visit, we see that they invest in training. They also contact our department, our university, and ask for training. And because there is this approach to lifelong learning, this training, improvement in, again, the skills, the knowledge, the competencies and capabilities keep coming. And as such, the overall attitude of the professional at all levels is becomes resilient. We can do it. And I can see already now from the discussions and conversations we are having with the industry that everybody is, come on, let's open up, let's get back to work, let's deal with this one day at a time. Let's let the challenges come, let us find solutions. And this is exactly the attitude, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about.
Exactly, exactly. People, then the industry, everyone, I mean, they're already designing their strategy, they're coming back. We see, I mean, a very active society of industry and professionals, all of them working together. And another important, I mean, value of the solidarity that we observe nowadays, and especially in our industry, and open resources. All the universities are sharing their knowledge. There is a very strong network, I mean, of and decision makers and the ministry and of Tourism and the Deputy Minister of Tourism here in Cyprus as well. I mean, creating material and training. So time for us is essential, yes, and we keep our positive, attitude towards the industry, and all this attitude is all about change adaptation, as George said, that we create.
It is this collective effort, Janna. It is this collective effort that stems from this professionalism, from these attitudes.
All right, and discussing about the adaptation, I mean, industry has been always ready to adapt to changes. Yes, we focus on the current situation. We see what is happening with different products, services, the destination, new concepts, and you are always exposing this challenge of adapting to new things. But this is one of the characteristics of this of our industry. And having the right attitude and having the right and the positive mindset, changes are just opportunities. They are not something that provides a negative vibe. Yes, it's something that pushes you even more to be more creative and more innovative and take initiatives. I mean, the creativity in our industries that make it so interesting, as especially for the young minds, that they want more challenges. Yes, they are living in a society that gives them a lot of stimulation, and they want more challenges, and this is the area. Yes, this is where you can find all these different situations and concepts that you need to find. I mean, ways to serve this industry. Yes,
absolutely. Now, adaptation, product, services, new products, new services are constantly being introduced into the industry. But we see that every time we have a difficulty, a situation that warrants change or something new, we see new products, we see new services emerge. For example, right now, one of the services that is going to be adapted by the food and beverage industry is going to be a delivery, a more prominent delivery service, so they can distribute their products to the consumer. Just being one example of how we are going to adapt to the situation. As well as products. We're going to be looking for a more cost-effective means of producing products, offering products and services to our customers, because we will take into consideration the economic situation of our prospective clients. This is going to be common for all. So, new approach to product development, pricing policies, and the overall services that we will offer are going to adapt and take into account the economic situation and the spending or habits of the spending abilities, to be more correct, of our guests and our customers.
Exactly. And as you mentioned about the products, I mean, the last decade, we're discussing about Airbnb and the disruptions in our industry. And but again, I mean, the industry finds ways, I mean, to welcome all these new products, yes, and all the platforms that we observe, and the technology introduction, and the artificial intelligence, and the virtual reality, and the new trends in consumers about well-being, and be more cautious about the source of their raw materials, yes, and what they are consuming.
Absolutely.
But I mean, all this, yes, the beauty of our industry is that finds ways, yes, to welcome everything and put them in an order that everything works smoothly, yes, and everyone benefits with this variety, yes, and the diversity that exists in our industry.
Absolutely. Even all the way up to new destinations, Janna,
Exactly,
and new concepts.
exactly.
And I'm expecting, actually, to be honest with you, and I'm anticipating these new concepts that will come out. You had mentioned earlier Airbnb as a new concept
Yes.
that very disruptive concept, but nevertheless, it's this new adaptation. It's the new change to the market, to the demand of the market.
Exactly.
And,
it's a customer driven, yes, industry. I mean, you have to take the vibes. And you have to listen. You have to listen to understand the change and adapt. And all this comes to this lovely, word that we have the privilege as Greek speaking. I mean, yes, and Greek Cypriots to say that philoxenia, we have an ownership. Yes, we claim an ownership of this concept,
yes,
which is the hospitality, yes, the reception and entertainment of guests, visitors, and strangers with goodwill and liberality. I mean, it's an amazing concept, and all these, I mean, they lead to the other one that George, please, shared, Philodimo, yes.
Exactly, absolutely. This also, Janna, is the next step, the next phase of this service aspect of the people that we had mentioned earlier. I deliberately did not mention hospitality in detail in the beginning, because this is where the true difference, where the true differentiating factor lies, through the hospitality and the philoxenia of the people, of these professionals. All right, let's not forget, it's about an attitude that we had mentioned earlier. Something as simple as opening of oneself to others' needs. Okay, it's an action. It could be as simple as a warm welcome.
Even our lovely smiling,
which is beyond the levels of service. Okay, these are elements of hospitality and philoxenia that differentiate us from other service industries. Okay, and of course, it's all about the principles of Philodimo. And we spent some time discussing this Philodimo, and this has always been an ongoing discussion. And trying to explain the concept and the word sometimes becomes a bit difficult. But we found a very good definition by the Urban Dictionary, stating it is best understood as one's responsibility to himself as a human being to always act in accordance with righteousness and honor. In other words, do the right thing. This principle, these actions, these attitudes need always to lead forward. These are the building blocks, the foundations of resilience, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
All right? The hospitality part, the listening to the guest, to the customer, to the client, making sure that you go above and beyond many times to make sure that they are happy, that they receive that something a little bit extra, so you can see that smile on their face. And that, of course, as we had mentioned earlier, me and Janna, that smile is the reward for the industry professional. We work very hard for that, and that is a just reward.
And just to add here, George, that every time that I discuss about these two keywords, concepts, big ideas, as we call them, yes, the ideas that they support this industry, philoxenia and philodimo. Especially nowadays, now times, this is what we need. We need this philodimo, yes. We need the responsibility of everyone to follow, with honor and acts that they will provide, to our guests, to our customers, what we promise to provide them.
Let me give a quick example here.
Experiences, this welcomeness, that we promise that this is what they are going to receive. And we have to have it in mind that it's all about our industry. This is our industry. This is what we are.
So let me give you a quick example here of exactly what is meant by the hospitality and the Philodimo. I'm going to use a personal experience here. Many years ago, when I was still working in the industry, I had also on the weekends was working at a restaurant. It was after 1 o'clock in the morning. We had already closed down. We were preparing for the next day, and we had a knock on the door. And I saw this elderly couple. So I opened up and I said, yes, how may I help you? They said, yeah, we have just arrived and we are looking for something to eat. The restaurant, of course, was closed. And I saw that these were weary travelers. So I said, okay, I explained the situation that the restaurant is closed, but if they would like, they could come in. I could give them some water, something that was available, just so they could rest, relax, just so I could feel that these people that have traveled so many hundreds of miles, they were from the UK to come to Cyprus, elderly, which was a big strain on them physically and mentally, that they had even the basics. And I still remember that, and I'm very proud of that moment. That this is what it's all about: being able to provide, to go above and beyond. It's that attitude, it's that action, it's that principle. That and I said, this is my training. This is how the things that I was taught either from the industry, from my colleagues, from the university at the time, and. Philodimo, yes.
Philodimo, and thanks for sharing this personal experience. I mean, it's exactly the definition of a moment of truth, yes, as we call it. I mean, the point that you are called, yes, to perform at your best. So this is, for me, it's the definition of the moment of truth, and the extra mile that actually is not something extra for people that they have the right attitude.
Correct.
It's amazing that the people in the hospitality industry, they have this positive attitude and willingness to support each one of the guests and try to make them feel as welcome, yes, and provide this hospitality.
Correct, Jana.
All right, and definitely discussing about all the of all the things that are happening nowadays, we have to just look at to the future of our industry. That, as George mentioned, a lot of things are changing. So if we discuss about the basic, the functions, the main functions, which is the food and beverage industry, the travel and tourism, the lodging, which is accommodation, the recreation, which is a lot of the theme parks, the casinos, the events. I mean, it's a big umbrella. Each one of them, they consist of an individual, yes, a separate industry that all of them, they belong to the sector, to combine together. And then we have the hospitality industry. I mean, the food and beverage already, George mentioned about increasing in deliveries. Yes, we'll observe the new trends, about the eating habits of people. They will be more concerned about what they will consume, because now they have the time. They are cooking for more than 2 months now. I mean, personally, I don't really call myself cooking, yes, through my life so often. I mean, it's something that I can share, but now, I mean, I'm challenged, so I'm more peculiar about the things I'm buying, what I'm producing. I mean, and we will observe that this is, I mean, a new trend, the technology, I mean, the cashless, yes, a cashless industry that will see that
Society and environment, that's
a
correct.
cashless society. In the travel sector, I mean, in the transportation, where there are a lot of discussions about increasing of the business class in airlines and changing of the whole scenery of the companies. I mean, especially a lot of people that they will use more the private car and closest distances, I mean, so we'll see again a more personalized service, a more personalized
Mhm.
um, creation of packages, yes, in order to support this need. In the accommodation, we discuss about um, what we're facing with the Airbnb, but accommodation is changing as well. We will see things concerning resorts. I mean, resorts becomes destinations by themselves. The changes in the business and the leisure, I mean, market share. So right now we had almost 50-50. There were the business people traveling, and 50% of the market, the vacationists. Things are going to change, I mean, as far as the market and the potential customers, but still the industry will be there. I mean, reinventing itself and creating new products and getting the vibes and react, yes, to these new concepts. And
That is
the
correct.
recreation, I mean, the recreation is amazing. What we are facing, not just, I mean, the last decade with the young generation of need more stimulation and they want more activities, and we have to think about recreation. I was reflecting, I mean, the last couple of days, and I was thinking, all right, even inside the rooms of the hotels, the TV, yes, monitors and the screens that they are using, they have to create different interactive gaming, because people, they may
Mhm,
want to
mhm.
spend more time in their
Absolutely
personal
correct.
space. Yes, George, instead of sitting in a lobby of the hotel. So we have to think about redesigning, I mean, the whole room experience
Mhm.
and embedded this recreation, yes, these the different activities. Uh,
Absolutely.
this might glimpse, yes, to the future. I mean, I'm excited because there are so many things that we will observe and will be, I mean, we are in this field and it's our job, I mean. And
Okay.
we have the privilege, yes,
So
to come across with all these new concepts.
that is correct. Absolutely correct, Yana. Okay, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, let us be absolutely clear. We are going to experience a very big change in the industry. Nevertheless, we have been talking about resilience, and we anticipate, and I am certain that we will come out of this relatively quickly. However, there are what is going to change in general. First of all, from the guest or customer's point of view, they are going to be looking for value for money. The value for money is going to be prevalent. They're going to be looking, because they are going to think 2 and 3 times to spend on the products and services. They will need to see that the value for money is there, and it will be required by the customer. We're going to see, especially in the food and beverage industry, we're going to see these food and beverage establishments turn into social settings, to be able to offer social settings in a new way, to adapt also to the legislations and to the requirements, to the relative restrictions. But people will be spending more time in food and beverage establishments, especially the youth, which are more socially active and have been isolated for the past 2 months. They're going to be looking for these outlets that can cater towards their social needs, towards their social requirements. At the same time, offering like I said, value for money products and services. We're going to see a very sharp turn towards technology, the integration of technology to be able to provide faster, more efficient services. Janna had mentioned earlier cashless payment systems. Definitely, cash will be now sidelined, temporarily at least, for the benefit of paying through cashless means. Within the lodging facilities, we're going to see new standards of hygiene. We're going to see retraining of the staff, housekeeping staff. We're going to see, and this will be an opportunity for employment of new positions. We're going to be looking at health and safety officers. We're going to expand departments and where we will have more specialized personnel, which will facilitate and guide the hotels through these transitional periods into creating more secure, safe, healthier overall environments. And again, there is a future. The industry is resilient. It's going to change. Yanda said she's excited. I'm also very excited because this is the good thing about our industry. It's constantly changing. It constantly moves forward. We can do it. Yes, we can. Everything is possible.
Yes, we can, George. Definitely. The future is ahead of us. I mean, we are ready for the next day. And the industry is working in order to adapt to new, standards, always having in mind the benefit of the customer and for the rest of all of us to enjoy this amazing, industry. And definitely, in order to adapt to all these new, changes, if we reflect with the beginning of our presentation, George, we mentioned about the skills, the competencies, the knowledge, the capabilities. Yes, it's time to plan your future career. For those that you are still in hesitation, to enter in the hospitality and industry field. Amazing opportunities. And as George mentioned, the new standards, the new products, they will request new talent. Yes. And the recruit.
And don't forget that a lot of these skills, competencies, knowledge, and capabilities are transferable skills. They're not specific to the hospitality industry, ladies and gentlemen. They are required and they are highly sought after by other service providers. So opportunity here to invest in a hospitality, tourism degree is something that will serve you well, both within the profession and within other service industries.
And I just wanted to share that recently the Hospitality Connection, they ran research among 143 professionals and human resources from all over the world, especially for this period. It was a research for April 2020. And it seems that the industry will start recruiting, heavily recruiting by the first quarter of 2021. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Yes, it's amazing.
Janna, we said this before. There will be a temporary downturn. There will be a delay in hirings, but it's going to be one of the first industries that will start hiring again because it is going to be the first industry that will recover quicker than others.
So definitely
jobs now will be lost, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean that this will be a forever situation.
No,
we will see the addition of other jobs, new businesses. Like we said, we talked about products, services. We can give the example of Cyprus that we saw in 2013. Immediately after 2013, we saw a new surge in coffee shops and coffee houses and coffee products, which drastically created a very large amount of jobs for baristas, for servers, which was a phenomenal situation that occurred at that moment. So even though it closed or certain jobs were lost, others along the line opened up.
I mean,
the time frame is not clear yet for us. We don't know, because with the Cyprus example, it was only a localized issue. It was for Cyprus. This is a global thing. But again, talking to the professionals, talking to the industry, we will take it day by day. They will take it day by day. We need to invest in lifelong learning, in learning new skills. We need to turn to the professionals and to the professional bodies, such as our partners, HOSCO, for example, that post so many job openings and opportunities, and have been very good partners with us for future careers. So the opportunity will come again, and it will come again in an industry that is resilient, that adapts, that is constantly accepting change, that is built on good professionals that have skills, knowledge, competencies, and of course, capabilities.
And let's look a bit about the new set, let's say, of competencies, and starting with resilience. And I mean, the good news is that you can learn, I mean, how to be resilient by learning how to remain optimistic, how to control, I mean, your attitude towards situation. And this is the most important, I mean, competence in our industry, that control, yes, you can control your reaction to every action. And this is what is resilience. Definitely emphasis in communication. I mean, it was always one of the top skills and competencies needed in our industry. Communication, intercultural communication, communication with language skills as well. Definitely initiatives, I mean, creativity, very important. Multitasking, yes. I mean, it's not something new, but it's even more important now that you have to gain this kind of abilities of multitasking and doing a lot of things. I mean, we are observe what is happening now with the technology, how many things we need to control, yes, during a specific time frame. And very important here, the attention to detail. I mean, now it takes a totally different dimension. I mean, and we have been discussing, yes, we have been discussing about the personalization, I mean, of the service, but now the detail, it will make the difference.
Yes, Jana, it's also about the experience, you know, it's going above and beyond. We had mentioned about this earlier, and attention to detail is going to make the difference.
Exactly. And you have to put, I mean, time. This is the detail, to put time in what you are doing, to put your love in what you are delivering. Yes. And then very important, the cultural awareness. I mean, we have been discussing that based on this traveling, I mean, we increase our understanding of people, but there are, I mean, there is a very important capability here, yes, to have an awareness of the different cultures and discussing, I mean, to understand the business etiquette, yes, and how to behave to and how to react to the needs of your customers from different countries. And definitely here we focus, in order to have this, I mean, all this setup, yes, of skill knowledge, it's all about lifelong learning. I mean, it's very important that you invest in your training, you invest in your studies, you understand that all of us in any field, yes, we have to have this as one of our main goals, yes.
Even within the establishments or the businesses themselves, you know.
Exactly.
This learn.
And definitely this is important, because we have been discussing for the last hour here with my colleague George, and we see it as a challenge for our generation, definitely, to provide, yes, an industry that covers all these the gaps, yes, and it's a commitment as well towards the next generation, that we're here, that we're working in our field, that we provide a promise, yes, to the youth, that definitely this is the most resilient field, yes.
That's true. That's true.
And I mean, by
Yes, it's going to be a challenge of our generation. Our
challenge,
generation has seen its fair share of challenges. The true challenge will be now to work hand in hand with the next generation to help them create this commitment towards the industry, towards the profession, to facilitate them to go above and beyond what we have achieved today. Again, this industry is resilient. Each generation, each person, each business plays a crucial, vital role in the challenges of today, and of course for the future of tomorrow. It is up to us. It is up to us. And again, we are resilient. The industry is resilient. We take it day by day, step by step. We keep moving forward. We can do this, ladies and gentlemen. Anything is possible.
exactly, George. And I just wanted to say, as a closure, statement, that we are so proud about our students. Already they have organized their own virtual conference through this period of time. And on 14th of May, we will have a virtual conference in terms in crisis opportunities for recovery. Please, send us a message. Anyone that wants to join is more than welcome. And this is, the essence, yes, here, that we are sharing this passion with our students, and we feel privileged, yes, to work with the youth, yes, and
Exactly.
the next generation of professionals.
Also within the presentation, there are some links that you can see for videos that are relevant to the topic at hand today. Jan, I think we had a very good discussion.
Yes, I enjoy our discussion, definitely.
Yes, it wasn't too technical or too in-depth.
It proves that we are resilient.
Exactly. Exactly. So do we have any comments or questions, perhaps, or actually, I'm quite looking forward to the Tourism in Crisis Opportunities for Recovery, your Stay Home conference. Catchy title, and we're really looking forward to this. I think a lot of the things that we talked about today are actually going to be touched upon. Fabulous array of industry professionals. I was reading the profiles, very impressive. I don't believe anybody should be missing or should not participating in this conference.
George, once more, it proves that the industry professionals and the academicians, they are fully supporting the students in our field, and we feel privileged about this opportunity that they provide to our students to host this conference and share their knowledge and know-how. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that we have provided our insight, yes, and in the field of hospitality, especially in the resilience of the hospitality and tourism industry. From the University of Nicosia and the Department of Hospitality, Tourism and Sports Management, Jan Orfanedu, thanks once more for watching.
Jana, we just have one question here from
All right, sorry, yes,
comment.
sure.
If you can see it, the question is as follows. In your opinion, do you think that the big travel agencies will react by opening up the market or by retracting? Well, from the conversation and from the industry, I know that the big tour operators are working towards opening the market. They will be cautious in the beginning. Nevertheless, they are training their individuals. They're sending their appropriate reps. They are in talks with their suppliers, with the hotels, with the industry in general, and they are working together to push towards a gradual opening in the beginning. Because let's not forget, this is an unknown situation. We don't know if there will retro come back stronger or in other means. But what we know and what my information is that the big tour operators at least are pushing to open up the market. They were expecting to open up sooner, but let's not forget there are also restrictions, governmental restrictions, recommendations that need to be adhered to. So I foresee, especially in Cyprus, that July will be something that is coming very strong.
I mean, I was going to share the same opinion as George, because from what we have, evidence and observes, we know that the big tour operators are working towards opening, yes, the market, and everyone is waiting to see how the situation with the COVID-19, and definitely it's very important that first is the health and then the traveling, but the people, they will continue, yes, having even a higher desire in traveling. So this is, I wanted to share this. Even now it's the desire of traveling, and it's even higher. So definitely people, they will continue traveling, and the tour operators and the big tour operators, they are working towards the new model, let's say, of their business.
We have another question. The question is, with this pandemic, will medical tourism increase or decrease? And also there's a statement depending on the location. So will medical tourism increase or decrease? Jana.
All right, medical tourism, it depends how you define medical tourism now, because if we're discussing about the wellness, definitely it will increase, because people, they will searching for areas that they can relax, they can isolated from any worries. Yes, people, they are very stressful, so they need this relaxation and the wellness aspect of what we call health tourism. Yes, it will definitely increase. The medical tourism, yes, it's an opportunity here. I have to admit, it's an opportunity for destinations to consider investing in medical tourism, because definitely travelers, they want to go to destinations that they will feel secure and safe, that there is the infrastructure needed over there. I perceive that, yes, this definitely opens a lot of opportunities for destinations that they want to move to this direction.
I agree with you, Jana, but there's also something here that we need to take into consideration, that the choice, the destination that you had mentioned, is also going to be influenced by how well those countries managed this crisis.
Exactly.
For example, I believe that Greece and their tourist industry is going to significantly benefit, because they were one of the countries that managed to contain this. They took the correct steps, and in the people's mind, Greece is is a safe country at the moment, or safer compared to others. And this again comes down to the management of the crisis, okay? And of course, how it's going to be communicated.
Yeah, just to add here that you referred to Greece, but even yesterday the World Health Organization was giving the credits to Cyprus.
Yes, of course, and I was also going to mention Cyprus as well.
The credibility of our destination in dealing with crisis, I mean, it's amazing. And this supports, yes, the safety of our destination, how responsible we have been behaving in order to deal with this crisis. And this gives us definitely a competitive advantage, if I can say so.
Exactly. It's and I do perceive that the Mediterranean countries will again be first in accepting and having tourism down the line. So, if there's no more questions, we have lovely comments. Thank you very much for your lovely comments, ladies and gentlemen. Very inspiring. We honestly hope that we have given you something positive. Oh, one more question. Do you think that the cruise sector will rebound soon? That's a very difficult question, Odysseia. I've read today in the news that there are the Norwegian, I think, cruise lines. Please, I'm not exactly sure, so forgive me for using their name. I think it's that they will not be able to recover from this, and they might not continue to be in operation. That being said, there will be competitors that will exit the market. So those that remain, those ones that are financially sound, financially stronger, will be given the opportunity to pick up that slack, take up those markets.
Let me add here, just because we're discussing about the cruise industry, and everyone is thinking about the mega ships and the cruise lines, I mean, and the ships with thousands of people traveling. Cruise industry is not just the mega ships. Yes, it's not just the cruise ships with 3,000 and 4,000 people. We have observed, I mean, the last decade, we have observed a more and more niche cruise aspect, yes, market that is more, I mean, focus on a more personalized, either in experiences, either in the market segment. I mean, so definitely the cruise sector needs to reconsider, yes, how they will reintroduce themselves. But from the moment that the hospitality and the tourism industry in its, I mean, it will open again, and the cruise sector will recover. I mean, companies, they have to consider of not focusing only on the mass cruise tourism, as we call it, let's say, with the mega ships. Exactly. And they have the capacity. I mean, the companies that the cruise companies, they have the capacity to diverse their product. It will need a longer time, because
yes, I agree, Anna. The cruise lines will rebound, but not as quickly as the rest of the industry.
Yes, because
let's not forget of the negative publicity that they have received. That means that you're isolated. If something goes wrong, you're isolated. You can't leave, and this is detracting a lot of people from choosing cruise ships, even though exceptionally possible, phenomenal. I was even planning to go on one myself this year with the family, but again, there is that skepticism. So people, I think, are going to take a wait and see, and it will give opportunity to these businesses to redesign their business model, redesign their services, retrain their crew. But again, this is a resilient industry. The large companies, corporations will will stay afloat and will continue to provide service.
Exactly.
Another question, Janna, here. What about sustainable tourism in Cyprus and ecotourism? Can they be promoted in Cyprus? After this pandemic, can tourism and sustainability coexist in Cyprus?
Sustainability is the only way. This is what I have been stating for years now. I mean, it's a whole changing of the mindset. And we have discussed in our presentation about the positive mindset. I mean, sustainability is the only way of a healthy development in all the sectors, not just in the tourism industry, because we're discussing about focusing into the community, focusing into the environment, focusing into the culture, and the social impacts of our industry. Yes, so we have to reflect. We have to be responsible into this industry that we have created, definitely to sustain it and provide the ability to the next generations to enjoy this industry. So definitely sustainability is the key pillar of any strategic management, of any re-engineer and redesign, yes, of our industry. And I'm happy to observe that it gets a lot of, I mean, exposure, focus, let's say, the sustainability, and more people, they are in a position to understand the significance of sustainability. And the other pillar of the question was about eco.
Can it coexist in Cyprus? Can tourism and sustainability? There it is.
Definitely they can exist. I mean, I can speak on behalf of the Cyprus Sustainable Tourism Initiative.
I was just going to mention that.
Yes, that we have a memorandum of understanding with the university as well, and we are undertaking a lot of projects, I mean, and initiatives in order to make Cyprus a more sustainable destination. And I mean, it's amazing in our small island, yes, but with a lot of big ideas. Always think big. We have managed, I mean, to provide guidelines to the hoteliers about waste management, about the minimum sustainability criteria, that we see them that they are embedded, I mean, inside the criteria for the hotels as well. The plastic, I mean, now with the almost zero plastic in the tourism industry, and I hope that we will be one of the first countries that will be proud to say that we managed to reach the goal even before the
target date. Yes,
exactly. Yes,
but also to Marie's question about ecotourism, I do believe that there will be a significant turn towards ecotourism. We will also see, and this is what we had mentioned before, these new products, these new concepts arriving. For example, we are seeing now a new trend in treehouse hotels, for example, return to nature, smaller groupings or smaller lodging units, a bit more isolated, back to nature. We're seeing also within Cyprus a lot of villages, a lot of individual entrepreneurs that they are turning towards a more cultural and eco direction in lodging and hospitality. And again, as Jan had mentioned, this is in cooperation with the CSTI, Cyprus Sustainable Tourism Initiative, that consults, that helps, that facilitates, with the ongoing projects in Driselias, for example, and so forth. So the good thing is that yes, and the quick answer is yes, ecotourism and sustainability go hand in hand. They will continue to coexist, and people's beliefs have not changed. They have not become fully plastic again. No, the environment is still top priority. Yes, it has slowed down the momentum, or it's not been prevalent in the news, but it is still part of what people believe. This is the new generation we talked about earlier. Okay, and this is what the new generation is going to do. They're going to pick it up, move forward with it. They're going to make sure that these policies are implemented. They're going to try and clean the oceans, the beaches. So yes, it's going to be a very prevalent part of the industry. Any other questions? We have a lot of thank yous.
We thank the audience, yes, that they keep us company in this session, definitely.
Definitely, and we've run over our time considerably here.
Yes.
I'm glad that we had this conversation though today, Janna.
Definitely.
It's been
it will be available. I mean, the video will be available for anyone that wants to watch later.
Definitely.
Stage.
So, any final words, Janna, before we close?
I mean, the future belongs to the young generation. Yes, the future professionals in the industry, and we see, I mean, we observe that already there are a lot. I mean, it's not something that, especially discussing about sustainability and ecotourism and the new products. I mean, it's amazing the innovation, the initiatives from and the solo entrepreneurship, I mean, concept that we observe a lot nowadays, and through a crisis, I mean, a lot of opportunities are. We're observing that you just need this kind of think. Yes, take your time, and this is what the industry is doing right now. Get the vibes, understand what is happening, the situation. Yes, what we have shared before about now we are facing a situation, but we're going to reach the adaptation, and the ones that they will understand, I mean, and they will be equipped with the resilience, they are the winners.
Definitely, Janna.
They will be the winners.
So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this industry is resilient. It is resilient because of the people, because of the attitude, because of their actions, because of their philosophies. Invest in these philosophies, invest in these attitudes, invest in these actions. Even though you might not be at work at the moment, use this opportunity to learn new skills, new competencies, all right? New capabilities that were going to serve you well, not only in this industry, but in others. We are moving forward. We're going to take it day by day. Luckily, Cyprus has the experience. We lived through a severe economic crisis in 2013, and we have recovered. And a lot of what we've discussed with Janna today is what we said in the beginning. This is based on the experience that we have had going through these crises. We're young enough to have gone through many up till now. But yes, we know about the resilience. It comes down to the people. It comes down to the industry professionals. It comes down to the industry itself that changes, that offers new products, new services. But it's also up to you, the new generation, the new professionals that are going to enter the market, to drive it even further with your new ideas, with the new technologies, with the new services. Bring with you your sustainability beliefs and philosophies. Turn this into a green industry. Create new jobs, new opportunities. Exactly. And we're going to see these new jobs and new opportunities in the sector.
I think that there is one more question before we close, because...
Yes, which is the question, Janna? Compared to other competing countries and markets, do you believe that Cyprus will react well to this world pandemic? Jim, definitely. If I may call you Jim, you allow me to call you Jim. Yes, Cyprus has reacted very well to this situation. We see this from the results, where we have an extremely low infection rate. We also see that's on the side of the pandemic, but we also see the packages and the support from the government towards the employees, towards the industry. And one of their top priorities, as Janna had mentioned earlier, is to facilitate the tourism industry, which is roughly 20% of GDP contribution here in Cyprus. And they are directly, indirectly,
I mean,
depends on
it's even higher.
how you look at it. We can see, if you look, there's a phenomenal video that has been presented and prepared by the Cyprus Tourism Organization that is going around, that's promoting Cyprus, and I know the funds that will be released, the opportunity to train, and yes, Cyprus has reacted well. They're doing a very good job, and again, we will see the benefits, because similarly to Greece, similarly to other countries that managed the situation very well, and the message as well that came out that hey guys, you managed to do a good job, are going to benefit from the tourism. They're going to be top choice, top priority by tourists.
Exactly. All right, and then let's close with just share definitely that Cyprus, yes, is resilient, yes, and will continue. I mean, investing to our people, yes, and the professionals and the young people that they want to follow a career. So definitely plan your future career. Don't be hesitated to join the industry. I hope that we share our enthusiasm and our positive energy through this 1 hour video. Looking forward to receive more questions. I mean, you know who we are, you know where you can find us. I mean, if you visit the University of Nicosia website, you just search with our names. We're there.
And not only for us, and any other colleague for that matter.
Definitely, yes, definitely. And we are more than happy to answer your questions. And
don't forget to tune into the Stay Home Conference.
Excuse me?
Don't forget to tune into the Stay Home Conference, 14th of May. Tourism in Crisis, Opportunities for Recovery. Another opportunity to listen to industry professionals. Looking forward to this. Great job by the students, by the way. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to us today. Thank you for your time and your patience. Stay safe, stay well. And plan for tomorrow, as Janna says.
And stay unique.
Oh, definitely. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.